I've been pretty pleased, to be perfectly honest. I've got stuck in. I wanted to be part of improving the Isle of Man and helping it move forward. That's why I stood, and that's what I think the people of Aaron Michael saw in me, and the reason they chose me as one of their elected representatives. And I've certainly got a very full portfolio, all the different responsibilities I've got. So I feel as though I've got the ability to have some positive influence, and I think generally this administration is moving forward. There's a lot to be done, but I do think we're achieving things as a sort of midterm assessment, if you like. Well, I mean, there's clearly two very big issues that have been dealt with in the last couple of Timwalls, being the healthcare future and also climate change. They're big strategic issues for the island, and we've set the early path in terms of the decisions that have been made so far. But there's an awful lot of hard work and some key things to be done ahead of us. So I think those are two of the themes that will run right through to the end of this administration. And on top of that, there are some long running themes, as we all know, around the cost of caring for people at the latter stage of their lives, which obviously is linked to healthcare, but it's different in terms of nursing. And all of those are significant. They require us to do something different from what we've been doing, and they also have implications in terms of both cost and choices that we as a community, not just government, but everybody's 85,000 people need to make. So, we need to be embracing all those, but recognising that actually there'll be some related issues around how these things are paid for, who pays for them, etc., and that none of these things are in isolation. So I think there's work to be done in ensuring that the right environment is created for those changes, whether it be different streams of funding or whether it's tweaks to the tax system. I don't know, but certainly simply assuming we can do all these things without any change to the status quo, I think, is a little bit optimistic. Well, that's the job really of government and of Tynwald, to ensure that we take a balanced approach to all of these things. It's very, very easy to solve any single issue because you just ignore everything else and just fixate on that one issue. The reality is we're not doing these things in a vacuum. Everything is interconnected. So how we live our lives, how we move around the island, the sort of homes we live in, these are all the sort of infrastructure that we have. These are all interlinked to the climate change issue, for instance, and we have to push forward on all of those, and we have to embrace it as a community. And my concern is that 85,000 people need to see these things as an issue and need to be part of the solution, and need to accept that actually you can't just carry on and do what individually or collectively we've been doing and expect different outcomes in the future. So for me, it's about that two-way conversation with the public, and trying to make it an informed conversation so that people understand some of the ramifications. Okay, well, dealing with the personal side first, I mean, clearly MHK for Aaron Michael, plus a number of other roles I have: chair of the planning committee, chairman of Isle of Man Meets, and the children's champion, as well as my two departmental roles in DOI and DEFA. There's a huge amount of activity going on there, and I want to carry that on and really drive that through and see some tangible further results in the next 2 years in all of those areas. I want to see the Notfield inquiry that I brought back in 2017. I want to see that come to fruition and the remedial action taken. I want to see Manx agriculture in a far better place than it is at the moment. I want to see the exciting developments around our sea services come to fruition. We've now got the steam packet, obviously, under public ownership. We've got the Liverpool ferry terminal that's now got planning consent. So I want to see all those things, and I've got a real role to play in pushing those through. I think on a more general level, we just need to see everybody's foot to the floor in terms of driving the island forward over the next couple of years to make the island a better place for everybody.